This is a highly requested video from my friends who are not Nigerians. Thank you guys for watching my videos. Welcome back to my channel. So on today's video, I'm going to be sharing the basic of all Nigerian soups with you today. So this is the basics. If you can get these basics right, the basic right, then every other thing just follows. You just need this. You just need to know how to prepare this. Okay, so I have been asked by my friends, like I said before, who are not Nigerians. Some of them are married to Nigerian husbands, Nigerian wives, and they want to learn how to cook Nigerian food. And some of them, when they come to my house, they eat my food, they loved the Nigerian food and they wanted to learn how to prepare Nigerian food. So I told them I'm going to upload a video on how they can go about the basic, because they just want to know how to do it. So if you can get this basic right, every other thing just follows. So keep on watching, guys. Now you may wonder, what is this? This is meat and stock. Meat and stock. So this is the basic. I'm just going to show you the meats that we use mostly in our food, in our soups, and how you can prepare this so that it can be tasty, delicious, and soft at the same time. We use this method for our egusi soup, vegetable soup, okra soup, banga soup, all kinds of food, all kinds of soup. So here I have goat meat, tripe, beef tripe, and cow skin. This is what I'm going to be using for this meat stock. Okay, but you can use whatever meat of your choice. You can use chicken, hard hand preferably. You can use oxtail. I do use oxtail most of the time, but for this particular video I didn't have oxtail to include, so I'm just going to use what I have. So yes, you go ahead and add wash your meat. Wash the cow skin, we call it pomo. And then the beef tripe, we call it shaki. Yes. And then the goat meat, of course, we call it goat meat. Okay, so you just wash your meats properly to make sure that it's clean, and then you put it in your pot. And you do the same for the beef tripe and the cow skin. Wash it properly, individually, one after the other. Okay, so the next time you hear somebody mention pomo and shaki, oh, you know what the person is talking about. Okay. I know my American friend said it's pomo. I said, no girl, it is not pomo, it is pomo. Oh. She said, okay, shaki. I said, no, okay, it's shaki, not shaki. Not shaki. Okay, guys, I am going to use my kitchen scissor to cut this pomo, to cut this burnt cow skin. It's burnt cow skin. So, but this cow skin was very thick, so I was struggling because my kitchen scissor is not that very sharp. So out of frustration, I just left it alone, and then I grabbed my knife. I said, you know what, I have an alternative, so I'm not gonna be here all day trying to cut this thing. So I grabbed my knife, and then I am cutting it into the sizes that I want it to be. So just cut it into the size that you want it to be. You want it tiny size, good, you cut it. You want it big chunks, you want it medium chunks, whatever size you want to cut it into, that is up to you. So after cutting it, you just wash it clean. You see, it's clean individually, and then you put it in your pot. And this pomo, this cow skin, is ready to be cooked. Okay. And I'm using my scissor to cut the tripe now, because the tripe is not as tough as the cow skin. Okay, so I just cut it into the chunks that I want it to be. So you have to do the same for yours. Whatever size you want your cow tripe to be, you do that. And then you wash it, of course, properly, individually, like I said, so that to ensure that it is clean. That's why I wash mine individually, to ensure that it's clean. So here I have my chopped onions, 3 knorr cubes, and 2 scotch bonnets. If you don't like spicy food, you can use half of this pepper or just one of the pepper. Okay, so here is my pot of goodness. Yep. I'm adding a teaspoon of salt, and then my chopped onions and the pepper. I had to chop it into pieces, and you can see I'm putting it into my pot, and the 3 knorr cubes, I'm adding it inside of this pot of goodness. So if your salt is more, like say if you use a tablespoon of salt, you have to reduce the number of the knorr cubes that you're using, because knorr cube has salt, so you don't want to add a lot of salt to your food. So and I'm just going to go ahead and stir my pot to make sure everything is mixed well. Yes, you want the meat to receive those seasonings, the goodness. Ooh, yes, that is what is going to give it a good taste. And then I'm adding just a little bit of water, as you can see, a little bit of water, and then I'm going to cover my pot, and then I'll cook it for about 5 minutes on medium heat. Medium, that's not too high, not too high and not low. Okay, so after 5 minutes, this is how the meat looks like, and it's still very hard because we just cooked it for just a little amount of time. And the reason why I added that little amount of water is that the meat has water in itself, so I just wanted the meat to release its water into the pot. Okay, because the trick here is that you do not want your meat you don't want to add too much water to it, otherwise it's going to dilute the seasoning. So that's why I added just a little bit of water to cook it, so that the seasoning can be absorbed in the meat. Okay, that is what you want. Okay, because you want it to be very tasty. So after that 5 minutes, I'm going to add some more water, as you can see, and I did not measure how many cups of water that I added, because it depends on the amount of meat that you are cooking. But how you can know is that you don't allow your water to be above your meat. Just let it be at the level of the meat, but not above the meat. You don't want it to cover the meat. So then you cover your pot, and then you cook it for about 10 to 15 minutes, and be checking your pot from time to time. So after about 10-15 minutes, you can see that my water is almost dry at the bottom. So you don't want to cook this meat and then you go sit down and watch Netflix or get on cyberspace and be browsing, and then you forgot that you cooked something. No, you don't want to do that. So yes, you don't want to do that. So I'm adding my water again, because our goal is for us to cook it till the meat is soft. So I'm covering my pot, and you can observe again that this meat is soft after cooking it for some more minutes. Like I said, if you cook it and then it's not soft, just keep adding water, but just at the level of the meat. Your water level should be just at the level of the meat. Don't cover the meat, otherwise you're going to dilute the seasoning and then your meat is not going to be tasty at the end of the day. Okay, this is a trick for me. It works for me. But you know what, if you have a pressure pot, it is the best thing you can do. It will save you a lot of time. So here is my meat stock. This is a stock of the meat. You can see how rich it is, and I feel like drinking the water, but it's spicy, girl. So here is the finished look of our meat, and it is very soft and very tasty, very delicious. So if you have a pressure pot, I'll advise that you use a pressure pot, because that will save you time. With pressure pots, you can cook it within 10 to 15 minutes. You cover your pressure pot, you add some water, and then you cook it for 10 to 15 minutes, and then you're done. But the disadvantage of using a pressure pot is that you have to put a lot of water at the beginning so that it doesn't get burnt. That's why I don't really like it, but it saves a lot of time. But with this one, you put water intermittently as you go, so that you don't put a lot of water to dilute the seasoning. Okay, that will give it a very tasty meat. Have you ever eaten chicken before? The outer part was very tasty and delicious, well seasoned, and then you ate the inside of it and it was terrible, no seasoning. That is what I'm trying to tell you guys. So for me, this works for me every time. But I also have a pressure pot. Sometimes I want to save time, I use a pressure pot. So whichever works for you. But if you want a very tasty meat, this is the way to go. But if you want to save more time, pressure pot is the best. So guys, this is how I prepare my meat and my stock. This is very delicious. I can tell you that I'm not gonna lie, I ate some of the meat, okay? But don't tell nobody, okay? Okay, go ahead and tell everybody I ate some of the meat because it was so delicious. So I'm going to use this to cook some vegetable soup. Thank you so much guys for watching.